Welcome to another Soccer Down Here 1v1, and it's time to catch up with Jay Heaps to find out what he thought about this past season for the Legion and the championship in the USL. Jay, thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So biggest takeaway from this season, building something from the ground up for you would have been what, you think?
Well, because it was a new role for me, kind of being the president and general manager, we had, the biggest thing for me was making sure that, when you start from scratch, you got to get the right players, or get as many players as you can. You can't really, you need every position, so you can't really focus on one or two. You have to focus on all of them. So I think that was for me the hardest kind of first step, was making sure that we got enough guys that could compete at each position, but that they were all new, and then it was going to be a restart. I think from the business side, that was again the same type of situation where we had to build out the entire front office with ticket sales people and marketing people and corporate sponsors. So it was two starts at the same time, and I was kind of right in the middle of both of them, and I learned more than I ever thought I would off the field. But I think on the field, when we talk about the USL Championship, the other thing I learned is that the East is a bear. I mean, we learned a lot about the Eastern Conference has some really good teams in it, and I think that we made some adjustments in the summer. We signed two players, Akeem Ward and Anderson Asiata, that really changed our projection. And because we were struggling, and getting two new players that could compete with us or make us better in the East was really critical to our success.
And you mentioned AA, and when it comes to Anderson, here's a guy who came into professional soccer with an absolute chip on his shoulder. He's ready to prove anybody wrong any day of the week, and twice on Tuesday. What was it like to see someone like that, who was not going to back down from a challenge, and at the same time be a part of what you wanted to build from the ground up here in season one?
Yeah, it was really important. He became what we needed. And I think also, obviously he was let go from a team, from Atlanta. Then he didn't end up making Toronto. So he was a little bit, he had an even bigger chip on his shoulder to prove. And I think we needed that. We need someone to have that, roll up their sleeves and play with a chip, but do it for the betterment of the team. And I think we put him in a position to do that. And then the rest was on him. I mean, for us, he was a player that he helped solidify the back line, because he sat in front of the two center backs. We were struggling in leaking goals. And when he got there, that was when our kind of long shutout streak started, was because he was, we credit our defense, but we really credit his positioning as a number 6 and holding down, the midfield and kind of anchor that midfield. So he was critical. On top of that, he brought a mentality that was contagious, and our guys really fed off of him.
When it comes to Birmingham in and of itself, what was it like to see how the fans, who obviously had the background with the Hammers in the NPSL and building everything forward, what was it like to see the fan base embrace what you guys were doing as the season went along?
Well, that was the process, and because Birmingham has had not professional soccer, a ton of it. You mentioned the Hammers, but then there's been professional sports teams that have come through here, and one launched right as we were launching in the AAF and that Birmingham Iron. So Birmingham has a little bit. They're excited about new professional teams coming here, but they're also cautiously, I would say cautiously up. They're cautious about doing it. They like that they're coming here, but they also want to make sure that it's here for the long haul, and that there's real, there's going to be longevity within it. So that was really important for us to establish a community connection, to make sure that our fans knew that we were going to be here for the long haul. We have local owners that were committed to being here, so that was step one and critical for us moving that way. The fans, though, following the game, that was where the actual roll the ball, and I'll tell you the story that I think summed it up for me, and was one of my favorite moments. So we were playing Red Bull 2 on a canceled game. We had a game that was in the spring that was rained out or lightninged out. So we had to play it on a Wednesday later in the year. It was October 16th. And so the crowd, it wasn't our biggest crowd of the year. It was about 4,000, 3,500 to 4,000 people. But it was our most knowledgeable fan. I mean, they were in, and they were there for every roll of the ball. They were there for every tackle. And so it was one of those games where there was great drama to it. So we scored first. It looked like we were going to go on and maybe score again, but we don't score. Then we get a red card. So it's 1-0, we're up, but we have a red card, so we're playing down a man. And the crowd can feel that, maybe the referee, was overzealous on the red card. He didn't deserve it. So now every call was argued and yelled at by the fans, not just our players, but the fans. So I really loved that. And then one epitome of the whole thing was there was a play where our goalkeeper, Matt Van Oekel, made a great play and kicked the ball out pretty quickly out. He had to run to it and clear it to the sideline and smashed into the crowd. And a guy made an unbelievable, like, one-hand grab, and the crowd cheered, right? They're like, yes. But then the guy threw it back in quickly, and they all booed him because they know they were like, hey, whoa, slow it down. Like, you don't need to get the ball back in yet. They were like, and for me, that was the moment where I was like, all right, these 3,000 fans, 3,800 people are in. Not one person left. When the whistle blew, then we won the game 2-1. Everyone was standing in their seats cheering the guys on, and that was to me like, okay, that's what we were trying to get, is capture, these soccer fans that love the game. Now they need to spread it to the fan that maybe hasn't been to a soccer game. Kind of what happened in Atlanta, where a lot of fans in Atlanta United, they've never been soccer fans, but they go to a game and they get caught up in the emotion of soccer, and man, that's what we're trying to do every day we play.
Because you're in the center of the SEC football footprint, and
yes, sir. The SEC I would say the headquarters is in Birmingham, which I think is just amazing.
And they're just over the freeway from you. But when you sit there and you understand that really the teams in Atlanta and in Birmingham and in Chattanooga in League One and in Greenville in League One, you have these cities that are soccer cities, but they bring that SEC football fever. That added little bit of oomph to it all when you have this fan base that you're building from scratch.
Exactly, that is exactly right, and they want to win. They expect winning, right? They understand the kind of that the referee may make a call. There's emotion behind it. So like one of my other favorite was when Tommy, our head coach, had a perfectly timed go at the referee, and the crowd basically gave him a standing ovation because it was what they wanted to see, and that's what you get with that football college fanatics that are like, they all think they've all played football somewhere, they're all part of that, so they have that mentality of, yeah, I'm in there in the game with the head coach when he's making an argument.
Jay Heaps, President and GM of the Legion, hanging out with us for another couple of minutes here on Soccer Down Here 1v1, and you look at what is being built. I guess, how do you do an encore? What are you building in the off season as you're getting ready for year two? What's on your whiteboard in your office for things that have to be crossed off?
That's awesome, because I'm literally looking at my whiteboard right now. And so most importantly, so we're excited at year two. I think Birmingham hasn't had a year two with many of these professional sports. It's been a lot of these, other teams have come and gone, kind of like the Birmingham Iron that are gone. And we're showing that we're here year two. So we just come out with our slogan, it's 2020 committed. So it's a real play on that, college athlete recruited, 2020 committed, to make sure our fans know that we're here. We're going to be here. We want them to be here. And so that we're doing ticket renewals right now, which is going really well. But I think for us, the most important thing is to build upon this year, be a better team on the field. I think we struggled early, and I mentioned the East and adapting to the East. Now we know what that takes and the players that we have to build upon. So we have to get a stronger team that can compete sooner and not fall behind and have to make a late season run. And the other piece of that is really, for me, broadening our fans' knowledge of the game and bringing a team to play against us in preseason that really is a team that they got to come and watch and see play against us, so they can measure what Birmingham Legion is to another high-quality team.
So here's time for the blatant promo. With everything that you want to lay out, how do folks keep an eye on you? How do they reach out to you? How do they reach out to the Legion? How do they make sure that they are within emails reach or social media reach for anything that they have on their minds, so you guys can have all of that information going forward as you continue to build?
All right, you gave me the plug. So it's at bhmlegion.com. That is it's our handle, it's our website. So BHM, as BHM and Legion is all that kind of together. And I really feel strongly that we're active in social media locally. We love that once in a while we get recognized from with Taylor Twellman. We'll jump on and see what we're doing. So that's really important for us to make sure that we're active in that social space, but also on our website has everything that you need to know about season tickets next year and about some of these we have a really big announcement coming up in the next few weeks about who a potential host. We might be potentially hosting a big game in February.
You could break that news right here.
I can't do it yet. I got to hold. Maybe when I do, maybe we get back on the call.
Okay, we'll certainly do that. Well, Jay, congratulations on year one being president and GM of the Legion. Obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on stuff and keeping an eye on everything going on over there in the USL Championship. Thanks for being a part of Soccer Down here and hanging out with us for a 1v1. We will definitely be catching up with you soon, especially after the news that you didn't want to break here on this particular 1v1.
Thank you. I appreciate it, John. We'll talk soon. I thank you so much.